Hi, and welcome to AE Help's IELTS test preparation videos. This lesson is taken from www.aehelp.com. For more lessons like this and lots more help with Task 1 writing, as well as other parts of the academic IELTS, please visit us there and join the full course. Alright, so in this lesson, we will be looking at an academic IELTS Task 1 writing. In this example, we will be using a more complex combination of multiple graphs. A lot of the academic IELTS exams for their Task 1 will have more than one graph in the question. So, for example, they'll have maybe two bar graphs, or a bar graph in a table, or a line graph and a pie chart, multiple pie charts. And your job is to write at least 150 words which describe the graphs and make comparisons where necessary. So again, this material is coming from aehelp.com. We are looking at writing Task 1. And the question that we will be looking at uses two bar graphs. So let's have a look at it now. Writing Task 1. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. The graphs below show the number of visitors to two cities in a given year. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Okay, so the first part that I'd like to talk to you about is just some simple instruction strategies and tips that you should practice at home and also during the exam to help improve your score. So again, this is IELTS academic IELTS Task 1, multiple graphs. So my first suggestion to you when you see this Task 1 type question is don't stress. A lot of students, when they see that, oh no, it's not just one graph or one chart, but two or three, then they start to panic, they start to feel nervous and anxious, and that really makes it difficult to concentrate and write a strong essay. So number one is stay calm. And use step by step thinking. So again, as in previous videos, even when you have multiple graphs or charts, just relax, stay calm, and you're going to write exactly the same three sections or three parts as if you just had one diagram or one bar graph. So remember again from previous videos that you need to write a description, which is about 2 to 3 sentences, an analysis, which is about 8 to 10 sentences, and then a conclusion, which is about 1 to 2 sentences. So same structure as with any Task 1, which means A, you need a description, B, you need an analysis, and C, you need a conclusion. Again, the description is about 2 to 3 sentences. The analysis is the main part. It's about 8 to 10 sentences. And the conclusion is about 1 to 2 sentences. So now let's look at each one of these parts for multiple graphs separately, and then we will write the example essay, and then you will have a very clear idea of what you need to do when you have these multiple graphs so that you can get a high score. All right, so let's take a look at the description part of this multiple graph and go from there. Okay, so for task 1 description, there are a couple of steps that you need to take before you begin to write anything into the exam paper. So the first step is to paraphrase the question. Again, this is very similar as what you do in task 2. So take that 30 seconds or that 1 minute and paraphrase the question in your own words. In task 1, you're going to use your paraphrase for the first part of the description. So you can start with that. Before we do that with our example, there are a couple of other important steps that you need to do before you begin to write, just so that you can use your time much more effectively, and also that your essay can be much more coherent, more cohesive, so better connected. So before writing, look at the information in the graph or table and so on. And when I mean look at the information, I mean look at the graph titles. So look what's written above each graph. Look at the axis titles. So look at your x-axis, look at your y-axis, see what information is given there, what are the titles, what are the measurements that are being used, so meters and so on. So get a clear idea about that. Again, you will use this information in your description. And then the second part of this that you need to do, or also look at the legend, if you have a legend in your graph or chart. The legend, of course, is what tells you what each bar or color or pattern is showing you. So what country, and it's usually on the side of or underneath the graph or the chart. You will also find legends on maps that tell you what each symbol represents, like a road or a railway and so on. So if you see a legend, make sure you look at that. Okay, so again, you're going to use this information for your description. So have a good idea before you start to write. If you don't do this, it's really difficult to write in a kind of a smooth and connected way. So that's why that's so important. The second step that you must do before you begin to write is actually not for the description part, but for the analysis. So what you want to do is indicate the points of comparison from most to least important. Okay, so again, when you're practicing at home, what you want to do is, before you write anything, first of all, look at the information in the graph, so the graph title, the axis title, the legend, and so on. And then the second step is to indicate the points that you're going to compare. So that you need to do before you begin to write the description. That's because this will help you to see the complete picture and the complete information that's given in task 1 before you begin to write. And again, with practice, you're going to see that this is a much faster and more accurate way to respond to these kinds of questions. So for now, let's paraphrase the question, and then we will look at the information, and we will indicate our points of comparison. So let's paraphrase first. So again, this question that we're using reads like this. The graphs below show the number of visitors to two cities in a given year. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So again, at home, what you want to do when you're paraphrasing, when you're practicing this, is write out the original question double-spaced, and then between the lines, write the paraphrase, so using your own words with synonyms, antonym negatives, expressions, different kinds of grammar, and so on. Again, review paraphrasing techniques from other lessons if you're not sure. Write the paraphrase, okay? So let's do that now. So what you want to do is try to be more specific, use adjectives than the original question. So these two bar charts depict the quantity of tourists to a couple of metropolitan areas in some annum. Okay, so lots of use of synonyms here, and notice how I'm trying to be a little bit more specific than the question. So instead of just simply stating the charts, I say the 2 bar charts. So I'm using the adjective bar here to be more specific. Show, depict, instead of number, the quantity. Instead of cities, metropolitan areas. Instead of year, using annum. And then summarize, so sum up the information or the knowledge by choosing the main parts of the graph and comparing, so compare and contrasting them where the information is significant or important. Again, remember that task 1 is an expository essay. It's not persuasive, so you're not convincing anyone of an idea. You're simply exposing or explaining the ideas, and you're using third-person voice, so no I, no you. There's no such thing as I think or I believe in task 1. It all has to be in the third-person objective voice. All right, so that's the paraphrase, and the paraphrase here will become the first part of the description in my task 1 response. All right, so now that I have paraphrased, I need to look at the main information that's given in these bars. So let's have a look at that now. All right, so again, looking at these bar charts, when we look at the first bar chart, we notice that the main title, which of course is usually the largest, states Visitors to Seattle 2012. Then moving to the left, I observe the y-axis, which is the vertical axis going up and down. And I can see that the number is from 0 to 2.5 million. And this is given or divided by intervals of 500,000 or 500,000 people. Moving on, I look at the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, and I can see that on this axis I have the year divided into 12 months from January through to December. And then of course, also very importantly, I look at the bars. So there's a bar for each month, and I look at the pattern of these bars. It kind of looks like a hill or a slope. All right, then I go on to the second bar chart. I notice that the title here says Visitors to Niagara Falls 2012. Again, I move to the y-axis. I observe that this y-axis goes from 0 to 4.5 million with intervals also of 500,000. And then I notice that the x-axis is the same as for the previous or the above bar graph, going from January to December, the months of the year. And then last but not least, I observe the bars, which again seem to show a similar pattern to the previous bar graph with some variation in the October, November, December months. All right, so now that I've looked at the main parts of the graph, I feel confident that I can write the description. But again, before I write the description, I want to indicate my points of comparison that I'm going to state for the 8 to 10 sentences in the analysis. To see the rest of this video and for lots more help with the Task 1 academic writing, as well as other parts of the IELTS exam, please visit us at www.aehelp.com and join the full course.